congratulations on Frenzy Moon. Such an awesome watch. Werewolf movies are some of my favorite. I think this mythology and the way we perceive werewolves is a very interesting concept. This movie in general has a very unique way of looking at werewolves. What was it like to be part of this?
It was a long time in the making. I'm a novelist as well as a filmmaker. This is my 10th film, but I've done 12 novels, and three of them were werewolf novels. They were much bigger stories, too ambitious to do on a low budget. And back in 2018, I did a movie called Widow's Point with
Mhm,
Craig Sheffer from Nightbreed. And I wrote the script then originally for him to star in. Then the pandemic came along,
mhm,
so we had to shoot a different project because you can't shoot a cabin in the woods movie
mhm,
with seven actors and a special effects team and a full crew when you're worrying about COVID. It just
mhm.
wasn't doable. So we shot a different film that took place 90% outdoors. So it took a while to get here, but I'm glad it finally happened.
What is it about werewolves that catches your attention?
I got to be honest, I think werewolves are sort of a second-rate monster, compared to vampires and other things. But there's something about the power that they have, the ferocity. And I didn't want to do a simple story about one guy turning into a wolf. I wanted to do a story about people fighting a whole pack of werewolves, which I
Mhm,
thought was a lot more frightening. I'm a big fan of John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13, so I really
mhm,
wanted to do a siege film with a bunch of characters stuck in one location with
mhm,
drama going on inside while there's a threat outside.
mhm. One of the things that make this film so incredible is the suspense aspect to it. There's a very good build up that happens before every kill. What was the inspiration for those?
So, as you can tell looking at me, I'm a bit older than you. When I was in high school, I saw both An American Werewolf in London and The Howling when they first came out. So those movies were big influences on me, obviously. Besides that, a big influence for me on this film, besides Assault on Precinct 13, was John Carpenter's The Thing.
Mhm,
Even though these are werewolves and not shape-shifting aliens where you don't know what they're going to turn into next, I like that sense of paranoia among the characters inside the cabin. And really, you need to have a lot of conflict, a lot of different conflicts going on among the characters besides dealing with what's outside. And that's really what appealed to me about doing a cabin in the woods story.
your cast seems very fun, very energetic, quite young as well. What was it like in the casting process?
It was a little different for me. I've been doing this for quite a while, and I tend to work with some of the same people over and over from project to project. But all those people are a little old to play college students.
Mhm,
So this was definitely an effort to deal with a younger cast. And because it's a one location film, and it's like one room in that cabin, you don't even have different rooms you cut away to. They're always all there. It's almost like a play and that the
mhm,
characters are always there interacting with each other. So my goal was really to get actors who had theatrical stage experience. So I actually saw quite a few plays during the casting
mhm,
process. I'd only worked with one of them before substantially. Um, the gal who plays Sheila, whose family owns the cabin, I had worked with her on a comedy, actually, and I just knew her to be a reliable person to work with, which is also very important in addition to being talented. So she was one of the first people I cast.
mhm,
As it turns out, I'm speaking to you in Buffalo. We have quite a large theater community here,
mhm,
and about three-quarters of these people had worked together on different stage projects. So they already had some built-in chemistry, which was also helpful.
mhm. As you had mentioned, this is an independent project, and you have multiple werewolves, multiple monsters, which is something difficult to do on a budget. How were you able to manage, you know, having more than one werewolf?
Um, it was a matter of misfortune smiling on me. The
Mm,
plan was originally to have one werewolf suit and play it off as being many different werewolves.
mhm,
And we were going to intercut that suit with an 18-inch rod puppet that was going to look exactly like the suit. Well, as it turns out, the rod puppet and the suit look nothing alike. So right there, we have two different wolves. And then during the shooting process, I decided I needed another look too. So I got
Mhm.
another person to create a full suit and a hand puppet. So there are
Mm,
four different werewolves, and by repeating them and intercutting them, we were able to create the illusion that there were many more.
mm,
There's a shot that I'm really happy with at the end of the film when it starts snowing, which wasn't written in the script. It just started snowing by the time
mhm,
we got to the reshoots with the special effects, where we uh, had shot after shot with at least two wolves in the frame. And by intercutting those shots together, it really does feel like there's a lot of different wolves charging at the cabin.
awesome. And let's talk a little bit about your, without giving too much away, your final girl. She is quite the presence on screen. Was it always her to that was going to be the final girl?
Um, yes, what I wanted to do here, I did want to have it be a film where ultimately the final girl was involved with the climax. And then I
Mhm,
decided I wanted maybe more than one final girl.
mhm,
And I knew exactly how I wanted that twist to play out. And I was just lucky that the actress who is literally the final girl, that she really shined in the part. I mean, she
mhm,
has a lot of presence. She brought a lot of grit to that role.
mhm. Yeah, I gotta admit that that twist at the end, brilliant. I thought it was a great little tidbit at the end for everybody. But having that, I don't want to give it away, but having that ending, is there any hopes for a sequel? Any thoughts of having a sequel to this?
So if my distributor, Uncorked Entertainment, were to come to me and say, this film did really well, I'm going to give you money for a sequel,
Hmm.
I would say yes. I have two or three different ways I could go with the sequel,
Hmm.
but it's not something I'm really worrying about. I don't object to an ending being kind of open ending
Hmm.
ended, and I kind of like when you set up that the story continues, whether or not it begs for a sequel or not. I think the conflict is there between the two characters who are standing at the end. Um, if I were to do a sequel, I would just want more money for the werewolves
Hmm. Awesome.
and a longer shooting schedule. It's very tough doing an independent film because you never have enough time.
Definitely. Other than, the time constraints, is there any other obstacles that you faced in getting this made?
Yeah, the fog.
Okay.
We're in Western New York, and at one point I think I was hoping to shoot in September, but we ended up shooting in October, and it was just a little windier than I would have liked. So every time we would do a shot, we'd fill up the frame with the fog, and the wind would change direction in the middle of the shot and start blowing the fog away. So we spent a lot of time chasing fog, repositioning fog machines. Um, I would have liked a simpler way to do that, I think.
Oh, awesome. Well, congratulations, though. This film is a very entertaining watch, and thank you so much for spending some time chatting with me.
Thank you. Thank you for your interest.